and we should be live on YouTube. Let me just go double check the YouTube link. Just want to make sure that we're live. All right. Excellent. I don't want to be posting that. Hold on. Okay. So I was in Maker Dow trade, inverted head and shoulder, broke to the upside. Still actually pushing pretty nicely. Just one thing that I was looking at. This morning was pretty crazy. Volatility was at its best for a Tuesday morning. It felt more like a Monday, right? So we started off the day with this big bar of liquidity at 28,500. It's actually been there for a few days on Bookmap. And it told me that there was a big whale that wanted his order filled at 28.5, and they were going to get it no matter what. And they waited and they waited. For a long time, it stood down there. And when I woke up this morning, we had a little bit of liquidity up at about 29. This is the first time we have some more. Let's see, up at 29.6. It's a good sign. Someone's trying to, begin to bring the price further up to the upside. But so I saw that we had this big order down at 28.5. I looked at the charts, and we were attempting a slight bearish divergence, but it wasn't amazing. I'll be honest. We got a major dip first. We came back up. This was a bearish divergence, a bullish divergence here, right? Slightly, because this was actually no. Hold on, that wasn't it. We were on the what time frame? Yeah, 5 minute. So yeah, the 4 hour actually presented a bullish divergence, and what that is you have the swing low here down to the swing low. Now, we hadn't had all the volatility we've had in the last 4 to 5 hours. It was right like this, but this swung up, which telling me that we should get a bit of a bounce, right? We initially had the dump, kind of as a descending triangle, really, which told us we would get a dump. But that liquidity at 28.5 was telling me we were likely going to hit it because Bookmap had an order there. Just, I'm just pointing this out. Like, Bookmap had a huge red order. If you got to that area, and there was a big order, right? You can still, it's a little less than it used to be now, 874. It was like 3,000 Bitcoin really conglomerated in that zone. So I knew if we got to that area, it would be a bounce point, and we got right there, 28,000, almost front run it a little bit, 585, 584, and we would bounce off that to the upside. So again, like I woke up this morning, could see a big area of liquidity on Bookmap. I figured, hey, we're likely to hit it. I wouldn't want a long in between that, and we got the long squeeze. Right immediately after, we would get a squeeze right back to the upside. It was pretty volatile. And that was, to me, it was just amazing. I mean, now, what sprung, we got the liquidity back to the upside, and honestly, sometimes it's really just market manipulation. There's less volume out there than usual. It's the summer months, so I talk about the summer month trading similar to, I compare trading to someone trying to swim across a shark-infested water, right? And if you try to swim across a shark-infested water, then what's going to happen is, right, chances you're going to get eaten, okay? So that's kind of trading, and eaten is like getting stopped out or getting liquidated. So when you're swimming with a lot of other people, the chances that you get stopped out are less because there's more liquidity out there, right? But when the volume gets tight, like thus is on the summer months, you have higher probability that you'll get taken out. So today, like there was probably less people on either end, and they could just go dump, and they grabbed liquidity on both sides. And you can see that this was the low range, this was the top of the range. That just kind of went from both sides today, and just got people in a very short amount of time, about a 20-minute amount of time, 30 minutes at the most, right? So I look at Bookmap now and I ask myself, well, what do I, is there any other more? And see, this bar here wasn't here before. After the short liquidations, this whale added a sell up at 29.6. That would tell me that I wouldn't be surprised if we continued this short squeeze to the upside. Now, we got a massive short, 230,000, came back down, and now you can tell the shorts are, getting weak right now. But we'll wait for consolidation of price action. The only order book I see really that's like big enough is either back to 28.5 or up to 29.5, right? Otherwise, we're pretty flat. Now, we could revisit the lows. There's still liquidity down here that hasn't been filled yet, and it is the biggest zone of liquidity. I find Bookmap likes to fill the biggest orders, right? So if I see two things of liquidity, this is what I found about Bookmap in my times of using it. If I have a big order here and a big order there, it'll usually go to the closest order. So even though the one order may not be as big as the other one, but if it's big, if it's really close, a lot of times the price action will touch the closest set of orders. If it's big enough, it has to be big enough. And then you'll usually come back down and grab the other one, you know? And secondly, if I see no orders either side, I've still seen, I've seen a big order down here and price action still go up and rip shorts. Just because there's liquidity down here doesn't always mean it happens. But like 80% of the time, it's pretty accurate. Like today we saw a big order at 29.85. We came down and we hit that order, So all you need, once you see an order that big, you just need to look for some bearish signs on the chart. Like right here. Bounce, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. We just could not get back above 28.9. And lo and behold, and then you saw the liquidity at 29.85. You're like, well, we can't get above 28.9. It's a heavy resistance. There's a point of control here. That's the volume area low on the VRVP right there, right? And so, like, I always talk about it being a coincidence, but a lot of stuff coincides with each other. You'll see a coincidence in price action. So, and again, today was a lot crazier. Normally I get a pretty good reading on probability. Today was just pretty violent price action, and we didn't get the normal divergence as usual. It just got more extended, and then the spring back to the upside was nuts. The only good thing about is this resistance at 28.9. We had to get back above that, and so far we're above it, but it's not amazing, not amazing at all. For me, if you're trading mainly crypto, I trade crypto mainly. I could trade anything, but I mainly just trade crypto because I like to get into like a consistent basis point of doing the same things over and over again. But this is the key areas to me where the weekly has support or resistance are 30,004 and 30,300. That area is so important that we get back above. All right. So shout out to the Biomax, shout out to Zoltan, shout out to Lifer Adam, shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We appreciate you. So I use Bookmap to figure out where not to get rocked, to be honest, right? How do I do that? Well, if there's a huge order, I usually don't short above. If I see a huge order above myself on Bookmap, I don't short the order. Just telling people to come watch the Bookmap live. So and that's how I'm using Bookmap. I see other people using it completely different, like zooming all in, watching for basically cumulative volume delta. They want to see less shorts as volume increases or basically price increases with less shorts, which is a common sense idea. Like right here, 111,000, then you got 66,000. How come price went higher, but you got less liquidations? That was probably the end of that little rally. And it was perfect little time to then finally get into the short. So it can teach me when to get into a short. It can tell me when not to get into a long or a short, depending. This told me not to long this morning based on that big area of liquidity. It said, hey, if you long, there's a chance that you'll get taken down, right? So that, that's the one thing. I want to make sure I'm sharing the whole screen. I remember
it's Bruce. Looks like, you're good here. It looks like you just stopped streaming in Discord.
Yeah, I just went back because I realized it wasn't the whole screen. It was just, it grabs like that one tab that you're using. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one setting.
Got you. Okay, it looks good now. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Bruce. How you doing, my man? Everything
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you. I never know if you're, I was like, is he lurking back there? I'm always wondering.
Yeah, no, I got to cut out here, but everything looks good.
Appreciate your time for that moment. God bless.
Okay. All right, take care.
Have a good one.
Bye.
So now we're attempting to take out this high here. See? So you would assume we need more liquidations. We need more. But this order up here tells me that there's a chance we get up there. I'll be honest. Seeing that it's getting light. Like I would like to see it get darker red. Right? It's getting light. It was a little thicker before. But that's our main area that I'm looking at now is 29.6. Right? If I was going to be in a long and I'd be looking to probably take some profits into that area. All right? Just because there's probably going to be a sell-off in that zone. All right? Now what I do is I look at the chart, so I'll look at, there's probably going to be a sell-off here at 29.6, all right? Same high here. We're attempting to crack that same high. This is like looking at like the 1 minute chart, even like the 5-second chart. So we'll look at Bitcoin USDT on, I usually look at on, I can look at on multiple different exchanges, but like KuCoin. I usually have like a Binance exchange open, a Coinbase. And people say, why? Well, I like to look at different levels at the same time. And I know I could like, you know, do it with the group settings, but I can just switch tabs really quick and see what I want to see without having to like think about it much. So the idea now is you're looking at 29,006, right? And lo and behold, it's the top of this range, right? Here, 29,569, and right here at 29,686. So I'm already like, well, if this is going to play a falling wedge, and this is going to break back to the upside, right? Which it should, technically, 68% chance. And lo and behold, I mean, 29,587, we have 29.6 up, right? So a lot of times I see what's, you know, it's a coincidence. I'll see a measured move, and what I'm looking at will coincide with liquidity bar on Bookmap. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. It depends. The bigger, the more yellow, the more action, the more red, the more I'm more apt to believe that that's a move, right? Now, the one idea we have here, though, is bounce, right? This was just a beautiful support region, and we can't flip it yet. We really have to flip 29,000 and get back above it to remain bullish. Like, that's a clear area right there that we're having an issue with, okay? So if we can't get back above this, you get rejected, and you can clearly see, like, we'll fall further down, and I look left for support and resistance. And I'll be honest, whoever uses Bookmap, like, definitely is a support and resistance person. Like, whoever, the guys who use big whale orders. So when I look here, I can see we have, all right, fine, the level at 28K even. And then you can just see chop right here in the middle. I mean, you had up and down, you bounce from here, and you had a wick right to that area, right? 28,430. And it just tells me, all right, you get rejected by this area and you fall down, you're going into the 28,200 zone, right? And I should see liquidity there, and I do for Bookmap. So it's interesting. I mean, both places that I'm interested in even of my setup, like if and but, like if it does this, I'll do that, if it does that. But both places are setting up for liquidity. So then you're like, well, what do I do then? Like, how would you know what to do? Well, I wait for small time frames to break support and resistance. Simple as that. We get above this, we could possibly retest 29,000, and then I could ride it to 29.6. We never get above this, we fall down, could, maybe find another bear flag, a resistance point, or we might even SR flip. Like, we might fall below 28.7, hit that as resistance, and then fall down to the next area of liquidity. Bookmap isn't 100%, but if you had a guess on it right now, it tells you you have closer liquidity further down here, and you have more of it. So it says you're more likely to go down to the bigger base of liquidity and fill these orders. That's just how it is. Will that happen for sure? No, it's not guaranteed. But if I had so it would lean me to say, hey, I don't know about opening up a long right here, because it's telling me that we're likely probably going to fall back down into the get this zone. They've created enough, they faked in enough longs with this move up. They grabbed enough short liquidity, right? And you can see, and then you want to see, is the short liquidity falling off a little bit? And again, we want to see that, you're trying to get back up with 3,000 liquidations. You just had 97, So, and there you had 103.97. It was starting to fall off. So you can get a sense that, hey, the shorts it doesn't seem like we have enough stop losses for the shorts at this moment. Right? You're getting weaker. Like, you can just see weakness. It's like a divergence, very similar to a divergence. So, and again, summer price action is you have some spurts, but for the most part, like, it should be like this. It's very quiet. Not all the participants are heavily involved in the market, right? Or they're preparing. To me, these are the greatest prices for Bitcoin, $15,000 to $30,000. Like, anywhere below 20K was an absolute gift. in my humble opinion. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. It's whatever the person feels can help them, right? Any questions, let me know. I can take questions in the comment section. If there's something you want to know about Bookmap, something you try to use about it, maybe a setting you want to add, just let me know. If there's something you want to know, I'm looking at the chat right now. So we had an amazing live stream earlier where we took MakerDAO for gains. MakerDAO was in an inverted head and shoulder. All right. You want to see what it was doing. We had it in an inverted head and shoulder this morning when we woke up. They break to the upside 68% of the time, and lo and behold, this continued to the up. 5% gain so far and continuing, and we even just opened up the trade this morning, you know, around 8:54 in the morning. 8:54, yeah, now it's 1 p.m., so 4 short hours, a beautiful almost 6% now gain, and there's the target is there. You're about to hit the target of the inverted head and shoulders, so that's why people like the trading group. I scan the market all morning. You know, I wake up about 6 in the morning. I start scanning the market. I do a Bitcoin update. I do a Bookmap update, talk about Bookmap, what I see happening for Bookmap, kind of where I believe we can get a move. And, yeah. So, yeah, and then you'll wake up, get ready for work, say you're still working, and you'll still have setups. You'll have a Bitcoin update. You'll have Bookmap. You'll have just a whole list of data at your fingertips that will give you, you know, an amazing group of information. And then once you get Bookmap and you see it enough, you know, we kind of just give it to you enough so you can be like, well, I like Bookmap. I'd like to invest in it. I'd like to get, you know, there might be other coins you want to use it for. There might be other settings that you like that I don't use, right? So you might use, everyone uses instruments slightly different, you know. Someone uses them somewhat the same. Someone uses them completely different. It depends on the person. So MakerDAO, and you know, Maker's been interesting. DeFi has been showing signs, strong signs of just, you know, compared to the rest of the market, DeFi's been strong. So that's another reason why I started looking at it. It's already been on my radar. I looked at Maker when it was in this falling wedge down here and started calling a move out. So we're already up on this Maker call for the last few days now, and then I saw again, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And there goes Maker again. Now Bitcoin has to play. If Bitcoin takes a huge dump, a lot of times it will affect the other coins. Right? So let's see what's happening now. So you can see, like, there's this one whale here who wants to sell price off 598. You know, this group of orders, they don't want to let Bitcoin get back up to above 29,000, right? This is maybe like, I don't know, like a safety order, like in case price gets erupted. Still so much more liquidity down here, all the way to and now 28,000 now starting to kind of come out there too. So they're getting a little more bold with the lower price action. To me, Bitcoin's in a downtrend on the smaller time frames, like the 1 hour here. It clearly was in a nice uptrend, but once you broke this like swing low, right? Then you made this low. Now you broke that low again. You can only assume your next high is a lower high, right? In the movement. So, and then boom. So right now I am searching for Bitcoin to make a lower high because it's been in, you know, unless it can break through this high here, could slightly change the story. But so Bitcoin really to remain bullish has to reclaim the trend above 29,687, and then these are these two peaks. I bring this up like every day, so I feel like a broken record, but 30,004 and 30,300. The weekly support and resistance is 30,003, you know. So basics, larger green bubbles and larger red bubbles mean like larger green is long and larger red is shorts, or volume indicators. Not sure how it works. They are volume deltas. Yeah, they're basically, if there's a buy and sell at that moment in time, if there's more buys than sells, the buys will be bigger in red. If there's more sells than buys, you'll be red. When he said a delta is just a plus or minus, right? You're counting cards. You get two face cards, you get two lower ones, right? Your delta's 0, right? Because you went up twice, you went down twice. All right. Yeah, that's all the, and then the more orders, the darker the order books are, right? Cumulative volume delta is how much volume cumulatively, so you're getting more sell volume than long volume right now, all right? Because it's at a negative. Gains, baby, gains. Shout out to Lifer Adam, man. Yeah, and honestly, we nailed it, right? And so I hope everyone took advantage of Maker and took some gains. Kudos made some gains. Tomo made some gains. And, yeah, excited to see these moves. Maker DAO. Boom. And Maker DAO could continue. It may not be done for the day. So... So now I know if I don't, I mean, it's obvious here too, it always looks the same, but if I can't, the charts say if I can't get back above 29,000 right here, expect more downside. That's just that simple. And we could flag this out. This is a bear flag, and there's the length of the pole. So now I have a measured move. And boom, you're talking, 28K. And it makes sense now, too, because, that's where that order 27.8, 28,000. And this order just slid in out of nowhere when I zoomed in. I saw this 28,000. I don't remember that being there. Yeah, see, that just came in not too long ago. Wasn't there earlier in the day. So now this person's like, well, I think I'm going to be able to get 28,000, right? So there's just so much more liquidity to the downside than to the upside. And then I look at my 1 hour stochastics, which the momentum are getting higher and we're not above the zone, which is more downside. Just says there could be more down. You could roll over here. So do you make so you're looking, okay, do I make an M pattern? And do we go and grab this liquidity? It's all there. It's all sitting there. I sometimes couple this with this Lifer liquidator. Someone told me about this one day, and I just slapped it on my chart right here. And this is cool. I usually use it on the 15 or the 1 hour time frame, and it's called M Applications Liquidations V2, liquidation levels V2. And so this will show me also the 100x, the 50x, and the 25x people who are leveraged kind of around price action. And a lot of times this will, coincide with Bookmap a little bit. If we look at it closely and we double click price action, then we see we're right here. We do have a deeper concentrated set of orders down here than we have up here. Here we have them, but they're more pulled apart. Here they're far thicker and there's more orders, right? And so this tells me as well that there's a more probability that we go to the downside because there's just more orders down here. More people will get liquidated, more liquidity for someone with a bigger bag to fill. All right. So I like using that liquidated indicator in conjunction with Bookmap. They, give me a sense of kind of what's going on with the market and just figuring out where people are going to get liquidated. Liquidations are awesome because they can give you information about the market. As sad as it is that people are getting liquidated, that extreme position can tell us when we're likely to probably, go more sideways or eventually, cross direction. So I guess it's thank God for the people that leverage themselves too much, because that extreme leverage, it gives us the levels of extremities, right? Like we get this nasty liquidation and we could get a move further up, right? I am still, this is weird. I backtest divergences a lot. Technically, that was the divergence, came up, came down. You can kind of say the whole movement is divergence, really, like this whole bar. And a few times I have seen divergence where it's it does the double touch and it still acts as divergence. And what's interesting, even though I am more bearish on liquidity, that's just a bullish candle. The fact that the 4 hour got such a big buy up to the upside, and you're oversold in the 4 hour time frame. So again, even though I'm saying, oh, we'll go lower, blah, 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 you know, if we bust above 29,000, start traveling back up, get to 29.6, right? We'll see what happens from there. So we got to break 29K. We got to close a 4-hour or a daily candle above this line today. We don't do that, it's very likely we see more downside. Mr. Wolf 69, love the teaching, Sam. Feels like my brain grows every day with you on the shoulder. Shout out to Dank Friend. Thanks, man. Yeah, I do have an affiliate link to Bookmap. If I grab it for you. Should be a short URL, but I guess there you go right there. That would be my link to sign up. I believe that's okay. Right. Digital Plus monthly is 19 for the month. Digital Plus annually 95. Global month is 49. Global annual, right? And so it's very, very inexpensive. I mean, you know, unless you want Global Plus for $100 a month. If you're trading all the time, you're going to love it, right? So eventually Bookmap makes you so much, you know, gets you, basically saves you money and makes you money, so you won't even worry about paying for it. I tried using your link, but it didn't show up in the pay section. Interesting. Weird. Let me see. I clicked on the link. It brings me right here where you can put in your last name and sign up. And I believe it's attached right there to my code. I don't know. It worked for me. Maybe do you have a VPN on or something? I don't know. I don't know. I know you're trying to get me paid. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you're in my trading group, we do have the links there too. We'll see if there's a reason why. I gotta talk to my team. I'll try again. Thank you. Let me know. I would like to know. I would like to know how that all works, right? It's important. Oh, yeah. Don't use that link. Don't use that link. Use the link that I just posted for you. Yeah. My team tries to help me sometimes, but sometimes some things get mixed and get caught up and I have to, you know, I have to watch them all. So let me know, though. I'd appreciate to know. Thank you. I love this Bookmap. Great idea, the team at Bookmap. You know, see what the candlesticks are hiding. Like, you want to see, you know, you can see candlesticks, but like there was a huge order about to sell off right there, and then you got dumped. I mean, you would have seen that. So I love, and you can see how that plays out over time. So look, we just got a little bit of a short squeeze in this area, 29,000. See that guy had a big sell order there. It's like, doesn't really want to let us to get by 29K, right? Then we got to order there 28, but the biggest liquidity again has not changed. And we got this area at 28.5. And this will change too. They can spoof, meaning they'll act like they're going to buy a section of liquidity, but then they won't. Right? It's rare though. It's rare on Bookmap. I'll tell you that. About 80, I'd say 90% of the time, it says that we're going to bounce up. You know, we're going to bounce up. So it's pretty, these big order areas for me, I don't know about everybody else, from how I use them, are very accurate. And I listen to them, like I heed them. And had I not heeded them many times, I would have been the one getting liquidated, because I would have said, who cares, there's liquidity up there. I'm going to do whatever I want. And that wouldn't have been the case. That wouldn't have been a good look. Many times on my live stream, we've seen liquidity up here. We've seen indicators all get overbought. except for like a smaller time frame, like the 5 or the 7. We'll see a big order up here, and the old me without Bookmap and the smaller time frame would have definitely shorted. I would have shorted the 1 hour and the 4 hour with a stop loss, and it all looked right. Because I think that's like after 2 to 3 years of trading, 5 years of trading, even some people, like you're good at that. You're good at the 4 hour. You understand how to short, you know, but you may not understand divergences, liquidity, and smaller time frames. And you don't really know how strong a smaller time frame can push. Like if a smaller time frame gets rejected by a resistance area, then it doesn't matter how good things are going, right? Like, or it doesn't matter what you think of the bigger time frame. You're not going to make it to your bigger area. So I realized that one day. I was like, you know what? Smaller time frames are the key. And then Bookmap. So many times, 1 hour, 4 hour overbought, even the 15-minute overbought. Somehow the 7-minute is in a bull flag. The stochastics are a little low. And lo and behold, Bookmap will give us a big order, like right up in here. And next thing you know, I'll see the 7-minute rip. We'll fly up. We'll short squeeze. There has to have been 50 times or more on my channel that we've done this, where we've watched. And I'm in a long, while basically I can see that most of the market is in a short. Yes, I was successful in trading yesterday for 16% gains on longs and shorts on the 1 minute. Thank you, Sam. Wow, you traded the 1 minute Biomex? Dude, did you ever trade the 1 minute before we met in Texas? Since we've met in Texas, have you learned so much more about trading? Do you feel more confident about trading? What was your feeling before we met, and what's your feeling now? If I can get like a personal, because I just really respect you and love what you're saying, you know? And there's Maker hitting a beautiful target. Bang, that was the length of this. That's where we were supposed to go. Target eclipsed. Thank you for playing. Inverted head and shoulder to the upside. Right? Never learned so much more. Amazing, man. I mean, I've never heard someone, you basically didn't know that you met me in April. It's been May, June, and July. It's been 3 months. And you're shorting on the 1 minute time frame. Like, it's just, I didn't short on the 1 minute time frame for like 10 years. You know what I mean? 10 years of trading. Like, I just traded spot, easy P, you know. I didn't realize how all the different things that you could be doing with price action. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I didn't understand. I didn't know how many options that there were. Congrats, man. I appreciate that. So that's kind of, you know, to me, that's, you know, what I'm for today. Is there a trade to take? Is there something happening? What am I looking at? You know, right now, possible little flag on the 1 minute. I can see. Little short liquidations, though. And again, I'm all about this bigger zone of price action. I want to see us get back above 29,000. I want to see this falling wedge break back to the upside. You got a little flag here forming on the 1. You have a flag here. And technically, like, this is also a bigger angle triangle. To me, with the volatility, I keep it smaller time frames. So if I catch one move, I'm out. If not, I stop out, and I just chew away at smaller time frames. So right now, like this stochastic wants to point out, RSI is in a falling wedge. The RSI itself is also in a cup and handle, and the MACD also wants to get a bit of a turn. You're right at the bottom, and the moving averages are close. You're looking for a bearish divergence. That goes down while that goes down. So you're all right, you know, not the worst. You did get a wick up off of what was somewhat of a divergence, I guess, you know, not perfect, but, and hit resistance, came back for support, and now you're channeling tight. Could Bitcoin get up to 29,244? I mean, Bookmap has very light liquidity, but it's still holding on to this area here, 29.6. Somewhat balanced. It still says, hey, eventually we want to eat 28.5, but we're somewhat balanced. It's amazing how we had 1K and then we still got 11K. There still could be some shorts up in here that want to get liquidated. $10x leverage, possible 9% gain right there. Could happen in about 10 minutes. My risk reward ratio always has to be a 3 to 1 or better. Specifically, if I can get below the previous low and the 200 SMA. That's an interesting, that has a higher, in my system, that has a pretty good probability of playing out just because my stop loss can be below this node and this 200 SMA. It's interesting. Slight cup and handle inside, you get the jagged cup. So that's a possible scalp trade. 10x leverage. Right? The worst you can lose is 3%. You could gain 10%. Okay? And when Bitcoin doesn't move a lot, that's, you shrink down. Basically, when the market's moving great, you can grab 10% spot, right? When the market's not moving so great and it's tighter, to grab 10%, you kind of have to use a little leverage, Leverage for me is just a way to use this to make the same trade that I normally would make with less volume. You know what I mean? In a smaller amount of time, right? It is high risk, but as long as I'm using the right amount of risk and the same amount of money, it equals out, right? People get all freaked out about leverage, but just make sure you're doing the same, proper risk management. Like, is it a 3 to 1 or better? I'll take a 2.75. And what does that mean? Well, that's the risk reward ratio. If I lose this trade 10 times and I lose 0.3%, let's say 10x leverage, it's 3.4%, 34% of my account is gone, right? But if I win 7 times, if I lose 7 times, about, let's say 21% of my account, if that was a 3% loss each time. But if I win it 3 times, I'm winning 10% 3 times. It's a 27%. It's a 30%. So I'm up about 9% on the entire portfolio, even if I only win 3 out of 10 trades. So the point is, if you always have the right risk management, you'll over time, you're going to have a better time. Now, people FOMO for these big gains. Like earlier today or yesterday, someone got into one of those meme coins for $400 and turned it into 1.5 million. But it's like, things that come over time are awesome, are just as awesome as things that come fast, Yeah, I was successful in trading yesterday for 16. Never learned so much. So transparency, I was down 5K trading on my own last year. After 3 months, I'm up 800, 300 yesterday. Amazing. 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 I'm learning, especially not to trade if I have distractions or can't focus. You've taught me how and where to look at all the time frames. I find I enjoy the short ones for a fun hour or so. A lot of people like the smaller time frames just because it gives them that quicker reaction time, right? It all depends. I need to get my butt back in the group. I learned a lot the first round. Well, we want to work with you, man, again, GF. I think you have great ideas, GF Burke. And so my wife was thinking of bringing you back in. So we just it just has to be right. We travel a lot. We have a lot of ideas. We have like 100 other things in the back end, and we're juggling. And so sometimes we have an idea and we can't get to it, and people think we're blowing them off. And I know you didn't think that. I'm just going over things that have happened in the past, and we'll get there. We just juggle it. We juggle a lot of stuff. And we're growing fast. We've been growing fast. 2 years, we've grown really fast. So bear with me. I'm putting the right people in place to help the infrastructure of the company grow and everything kind of go the right way. So I'm CEOing by the skin of my pants, I understand skills on the ready. Thank you, man. And we know that. And I think we're blessed to have that. So yeah, so this is kind of, I'm looking for a scalp here for Bitcoin. Bookmaps, I like a Bookmap helped me out a little bit more with the liquidity today, but it's pretty flat and scant. Macro says that we go lower later on. Micro says we could hit 29.6 possibly. And so that's kind of, right now we're pretty flat. We did lose some, it's funny, we got 3K, then we got 11K. And that, now you had more shorts in the area. Tell me, maybe do we go up even more? Do we get 20K? So it could be some more, and there's some blue in here. It's not heavy, but it's sparse. So you're watching this basically 1 minute flag for a possible gainer for Bitcoin. for what I go for, it's, you know, low stochastics, lack of bearish momentum in the MACD, falling volume, basically a cup and handle and a falling wedge on the RSI, and it's below 50, and you're getting tighter in the wedge with tight moving averages. So, and you bounced off of you know, basically just a crazy liquidity grab right here. A lot of times price action either goes sideways or up a little longer for a day after that nasty dump. You know, that looks like the dump for the low for the day. 28,590, you know, what was it? 28,585. Looks like it could be the low for the day, you know, on KuCoin. All right. So now, it's kind of what I'm looking at, you know, for the day. And again, and look, like this is the smaller time frame. I know that we have to get back above 29,000. If we can't close a 4-hour or a daily candle above that level, I just expect more downside for BTC. So it's kind of what I see for Bitcoin. I don't see anything crazier going on. The morning was nuts. It was like explosive, like that. Look at that. That was intense. And the market's attempting to kind of clean up the dust and find itself. Wants to see who's still standing. You know what I mean? Like what liquidity we still have around. And just because everything looks good, the price could just start dumping right out of this to the downside. You do have kind of an M. You know, you're out of resistance. I do like trading Tuesdays, though. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my favorite. You know, Tuesday, Wednesday, really the best days to trade in the market. That I found. Just better off, better days. So, yeah, but that's what I'm looking at. Some days are better, some days are funner. Some days there's more information on Bookmap to be had, right? And we can see more orders, and we can see the liquidity a little better. Yeah. You still got some orders up here. We could come up. I want to take out 29,000. See, we want to see if we take out this order here, there's a chance we can get up to 29.1, and we can start going up a little more. The TA says there's a probability we could make a move, right? The TA suggests we could make a move here. So, yeah, it takes me. And that's another thing. You don't just open up a chart and enter a trade. Look how long we've been sitting here, and I finally pinpointed something on the one. I finally found some risk. I know what type of leverage I'll have to use to make the trade, right? I'll make it on MEXC. I trade these on MEX Global. Is this your affiliate code? HBUJabaka. It's funny you're asking me that. Should just be the links below all my videos. You should just be able to hit the link below any one of my videos. No, it looks like it's Cryptolifer 33. Like, it didn't work. Well, I'm gonna talk to my team right now and ask them what's going on. Hold on. Let me see. I know we're about to sell a Bookmap subscription on the live. All right, reach out to Zeno, because I know you really want to do it the right way with my link. Reach out to Zeno if you can on the Discord. I just reached out to him too. We're going to find out what's going on. We're going to make sure that everything is right and correct. See if it's, you know, a browser issue or see if it's coming through. I do click the link and it sends me to the subscription page every time. And when I go up here at the top, I see Cryptolifer 33. So it looks like I'm connected. I did hit this link for you and just pasted it to you. And it seemed like that was going to be good enough. But it is also, it doesn't come across. Jamie, my crew says it's working fine on their end. All right, just link up with Jamie. He'll make sure that you get it, Mr. Wolf. Yeah, yeah. Make sure I get that. Yeah, it's too long of a URL for whatever reason. I'd love to see this pump and watch us win a live trade here on Bookmap. Just let it sit live, you know. But yeah. And so I just don't jump into trades just because I want to, because I feel like it. We got to make, like, we have a high, we came with the higher low, lower high, higher low, tight action. Now we need to take out this high, bang, and that, you know, that will be that 29,000, and then maybe we go up to 29K. Mr. Wolf, so funny. A man named Mr. Wolf. Yeah, Jamie just responded. He said it's working fine on his end. So my team's all over it. I have people on there handling that right now. So sorry. I don't want music on right now. I don't know why the music came on. I think I must be playing a live stream from somewhere else. No. Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at a video to find the link, and the monthly candle close from last night started playing. Yeah, so we do a weekly candle close every Wednesday night, just for people that are new to this. If you're coming in from Bookmap, I do a live stream Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Right? That 8 p.m. covers that monthly, the weekly candle close. I also do a monthly candle close every single month at the end of every month, an added stream, so you get an extra. Sometimes, every once in a while, the weekly candle does fall on the monthly, and it's not an extra stream that month, but not every time. You know, it's cool when it does, but not every time. So yeah, I mean, boringly watch this 1 minute price action now, see if we can make this trade. And what I do is I set this trade, and I either win it or I lose it. You know, once I'm okay with the probability, I go for it. You are, one thing that's against me a little bit is you get 200, you're getting less liquidations, right? However, when I spaced it out, I got more on the right side here, which tells me there could be some more hiding out to the upside. And that's basically the Bookmap tutorial for the day. I mean, I could keep going, but I'm really just going to be sitting here. You could do the same as me, and I'm just going to be watching this 1 minute chart for a breakout to the upside. We've been blessed 2 Sammy streams in a day the last 4 days. The hardest working mentor in the game, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's my job. Everyone has to have a job, right? This is what I do every day for a living. I go over the charts for people that want to know and see what's happening. And then we look at all the different possibilities and you know, and I do find gains too. Like today I found MakerDAO this morning. Somehow I trip, whether I get lucky, whether I don't know what happens, but somehow, some way, by perseverance and just waking up every day and believing in myself, having a positive mindset, staying positive. I'm telling you right now, believing that there's opportunity in my life at all times and believing that there's positivity around me at all times creates the opportunity and the positivity. Like the belief creates the reality. You form that reality and you live in it, you know, and you're conscious of what you think about. You're conscious who you bring in your life. You're conscious the decisions that you make. You're conscious of the things that the energy that you keep. And you want to keep a good, positive energy around you at all times. It just can only help you in every situation in life. Whether it's trading, whether it's life, whether it's, you know, interacting with other people, whatever business you're in, if you want to get into crypto or get into trading, patience, positivity. You can't beat those two things. And so I work out every day to keep my patience. You know, once you work out every day and you've exerted a lot of good energy, a lot of, you know, and I like an endorphin gets released, right? I get these like crazy chemical feelings during the workout. That does something for the rest of my day. I'm calmer throughout the rest of the day. I feel better about the rest of my day. I also feel accomplished. I did something, you know, so I always make a point to work out. No matter how crazy the market, I set my trades, go, And I work out in a funny time where a lot of people would be trading the markets. I try to work out somewhere between sometimes between 8 and 10 o'clock, somewhere in that moment. I take a half an hour to work out. Occasionally I get it in earlier. And again, I know this is a Bookmap tutorial, not a T25 beach body. But the idea is I truly believe the mind works really well when we work out physically. And when we get into a routine to work out every day too. For me, it was I had trouble trading till I was able to work out every day and really set my mind. Get the chemicals in my mind right. Helped me not be emotional when I traded. Okay? So again, this is the trade I'm looking at. It could go up or down. It may make or break. We don't know. Every trade is separate of itself. It's a random moment. And you can see the flag here. You see? Bookmap actually gave me the flag. I started seeing the flag first. And I said, oh man, there's a possible move there, right? Strong body, strong mind. Yep. No luck, all life or vision to find them gains. Yeah, and it's not easy, man, to find, the last few, even today. Today wasn't the best day to find gains. The market was tough. But I believe that there was a possibility out there, and I believe that things could happen, and we took a shot on make or down. So there was the positivity. If I didn't believe in myself, I would have looked at the chart and been like, probably not going to happen. I shouldn't post it. And then we would have missed out, on the opportunity. So your belief in opportunity is opportunity, 100%. 100%. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's the Bookmap tutorial today. I wish there was more going on. It's Sunday. Funny, same thing I was saying yesterday. But it's still exciting because look how much we can learn. We can see, we watched this morning, liquidations were amazing. Watching price go up and down that fast in that amount of time. And look at the numbers there. Pretty insane, right? Downloaded Bookmap. Cool. I always thought it was an in-browser thing. No. Yeah, I have it. It's all downloaded. I have it as an app. Yeah. And I use it on 2 different computers. It works great. When I travel, my travel computer does it. They gave 2 licenses work. I believe that may be the case for everybody. I don't know. But I believe it should be able to work on 2 separate computers. Maybe not simultaneously, but you can switch back and forth. Okay. All right. And I'm going to end the YouTube stream. All right. So thank you, everyone, for coming to the YouTube stream. I appreciate it. And, yeah. Dang, I wish the trade had played out while we were waiting. But it looks so close. When price action gets that tight and the moving averages are that close after a liquidation, there's high probability you're going to get a move to the upside. But you never know. Only time will tell. We'll take it from here. All right.